Hello guys and welcome back to Tomato GFX. Today we are going to talk about rotate tool, reflect tool and so many other tools of Illustrator. So let's start. And this is the 10th lecture in our series and you can watch the previous lectures in the playlist. So do check out them and let's start. So welcome back to the magical world of Illustrator and here you can see our rotate tool and reflect tool and other tools like scale, shear and reshape. These tools are pretty easy to understand and quick, so be going quick on these, and after that we'll be spending some time on width tool and free transformation tool and puppet wrap. So let's start. The use of rotate tool is to rotate objects, so you can see we can easily rotate them. On circle you cannot see it because of the normal color, but in gradients you can see we can rotate it. We can rotate our square also, we can rotate our star also. So what's the use of rotate tool in general? So rotate tool is used if you want to rotate objects on an axis. If we create an axis here, originally it was in the center. If we create axis here, we can see rotate our shape around that axis. So this was rotate tool simply, and we just apply it on different shapes like this. Just I'll be selecting square now and R for rotate tool and setting the axis here. You can see we can rotate our square also. We can rotate our star also. You might be confused like how can I get to the select tool here and just select it and then just a click here and I can just get back to the original tool I was working. So this is a shortcut. If you are on any tool, you can just click on control, hold the control, don't click on, hold the control, and you have a selecting objects like selection tool, and you can select the object and then just go back to the original tool you were working with, and then you can move your object like this. Easy peasy job. So this was use of rotate tool, and people use it mainly for creating some circular patterns. So I'll just demonstrating that how to do that. If you have selected a star here and you make the axis here in the center of the star, I'll just bring the guide on here. So bringing guide is easy. You can just click on Control R for guides. I have told you before in the classes. So if you click on the star, you can see the anchor point is here. And if you click here, the anchor point will be shifted here, and then you have to rotate by pressing Alt. So I'll be just leaving it here. And now if I press Ctrl D again and again, it will create a circle around it equal. And you can see we have created a pattern here, which is very precise. Yeah, it might have some issues here, and you cannot fix these issue by hands like you were just setting those back. It is very lengthy process. So what should I do if we want to make these patterns? If you are on an updated version of Illustrator, you can just simply go to Object, you can go to Repeat, and you can go to Radial. Now you can see you have an option of creating a radial surface and increasing the number of stars and just making some fun of with these axes like this, and you can play with it, and you can just anytime click on the star. You can change the shape, you can increase the number of stars anytime you want, and you have to just make those close to each other also, because I might think these are making some issues here. Okay, yeah, that's good. So this is how it works, just an add-on tool, so you would be learning something else. So after rotate tool we get reflect tool, and reflect tool in easy, very easy to understand. We can just reflect our shape here. So the tool to work with this is you select the tool and you double click on it, and the reflect panel will be open in front of you, and now you can just select vertically, horizontally, or a specific angle you want. It can be any angle and it will be reflected on those angles. So I'll basically select horizontal and vertical mostly. So for now, if I click on vertical and make a copy, you can see it will create a copy of that object. Simple. So this was reflect tool. So shortcut for both of these tools, I'll be just grouping these both so I can make you understand better. Just right clicking on these and opening this option panel and go to transform. Click on reflect. You got both the options, horizontal or vertical, and making a copy is easy here like this. And you can also rotate your objects. The only back point it has is it has a central point. It will always be in center, so you cannot change it, but you can change the angles accordingly with precision. So after this, we get scale tool. So how scale tool work is, if we ungroup that and just go to here and click on scale tool. For right now, it is scaling from middle. And if we just want to change the anchor point here, now it will be scaling from this center here. This is an easy understanding on squares because they basically works like that. If you normally having a rectangle tool here, see, it normally works like that. No difference. But if you are working with circles, scale tool, I'll be just selecting the circle here. Right now it's working like this, like this. But what if I want to scale it from this corner? See, now it's working like this. From this corner, it's scaling. So you can define a specific scaling angle. And for a note, I can just tell you that these tools are used for complex shapes, not for the basic shapes. Basic shapes can be transformed, reflect very easily. So these tools are used for complex shapes. Like if you have grouped this item and now you want to reflect it or scale it. So you want to scale it on this axis, you can click on this axis and now you can scale it like this, like on this axis or this axis, freeform. So this was a demonstration of scale tool. After that, we comes to shear tool. For shear tool, I guess we need to ungroup this, and for better understanding, we will take this rectangle here and click on shear tool. For starters, it will be in center. You cannot change it right now, and you can see it shears the object like this. And if we put this anchor point here, it basically changes the way it shears. Like you can shear from the top. And if we apply this on the circle like this, you can shear the same circle, make some flat angles like this. The shear tool is mainly used when you are making a grid, and I'll be just demonstrating it also very fast. RPT, and also going for this. This is group. This is a complex shape. Now I'll be just clicking on shear tool and here and see. Now I can shear my objects in an isometric geometry like this. Easy peasy. So this was the use of shear tool. After shear tool, we get reshape tool. So if we click on reshape tool and we hope to change the path of this object, it won't work because it will add an anchor point here, but it won't change the path because it's an closed path, and reshape tool doesn't work with closed path. I don't know why, but it doesn't. If it would be very good for me also. So for now, I'll be selecting a pencil tool here and drawing some sketches here and some wonky shapes also to make it understand better. And I'll be choosing a spiral also to make you understand better. So I have created 3 paths here and I'll be just deleting this square here. So we have created some paths and we want to edit them because we don't like it too much. So I'll be just clicking on reshape tool, and reshape tool is kind of editing your strokes with a clay model, like a clay model. So if I just want to change the path and make something more curvy, more dense, I can do that. Different lines. For now, I'll be just selecting this path here, and you can see I can just change the path like this. A reshape tool also sometimes help with our boxy design patterns. Like if we have chosen pen tool and these are curved lines. If we make an boxy design, see, this is not even curved. So I just want the curves on this. So you see, I have curves all over the line. For a node, once your line is curved, it will act as a clay for reshape tool. So don't mess with this tool because it has so many capabilities of reshaping your lines. So this was reshape tool and I'll be just deleting it. So those were quick tutorials about some small tools. Let's jump to our main basic tools here we got today. So for now, I'll be just creating a pen tool path very quick so we can demonstrate the use of our next tool. And our next tool is width tool. And have you seen these variable width profiles here? You can change your width according to your need, like this, like this. But these are just six different options and you want more options and you want to customize your path according to you. So what to do now? You can just click on width tool here and you can customize your path according to you like this. If you just want a thicker path on the starting and a smaller path on the ending, you just can do everything with your path anywhere. And this is an easy peasy tool to change the width of your paths like this. And this was a cobra. Okay. That doesn't look good. That looks better. Okay. So this was our width tool and you can use width tool in many ways. And if you see here, you have a cursor which makes path wider or thinner on both the sides of strokes. And what if I just want to make stroke wider on one side of the line? I can just click on alt and that's how you make path one-sided like this. So after width tool, what comes next are some warping tools. These are just experimental, so you can experiment on these and make your own ideas with these. So I'll be just demonstrating what these do's. If we click on any closed shape with these tools, what they will do is they will follow the instructions. Like I'll be just changing the color blue because my guides are blue also. So if I now apply my force, you can see it's acts like a clay, like I just modeling a surface and I can create something with it. I don't know if you can see or not. It is a little dinosaur just came out of his egg. Okay, I know it needs a depth and some details, so I haven't added that. It would create a lengthy lecture on that. Oh, so this was about wrap tool. So wrap tool is wrapping the object like a clay. So pretty explanatory and easy to understand. We jump to our free transform tool and puppet wrap. These tools are very useful if you have created so many grid-like structure or buildings. So let's suppose we have a building. All windows are not black, some are white, some are different colors. So just change it when you are working with them. Okay. So for with free transformation tool, you get these settings here. First of all, and freeze transformation tool works like you just change the size of your object like this from any angle you want. So this was locked constraint, and if you unlocked it, then it will won't work similarly like it's working now. If you unlock it, it will work variably in the section. So suppose you want a perspective in your design. So if you click on this, so you have a perspective. You can change the perspective of the building like this, or you can like this. If you just down this, this is a perspective from side. This is the perspective from right side. And suppose you want free transformation, like completely different buildings from our world, like this. You see? We can change it without the perspective. We just making them in any angle we want, and we can just change it free transformly. So you can do this not just with the grids, not just with the buildings. You can do this with any object you want. And if you are doing with constraints added, it has a different approach. And if you are not adding a constraint, it has a different approach. And I like the perspective one most because it adds a depth in your scene. And I love to make perspective art more, not the digital deformation tools. So, for now, I'll be just creating a small scene here. See the multi storage urban area, and we can just change and customize them more later. So, this was what we can do with the transform tools and our mixture tools. So after free transform, we have puppet tool. For that example, I'll be just creating a stickman. So we have created a stickman here. And suppose I just want to change the arm settings here. The random n species in the background which has no details in it. So I'll be just selecting it. For base, it will give us some points by its own, and I'll be adding my own also. So now if I rotate this, you can see it is deforming the object very, very well. But we don't want to deform it like this. Now it has an hand. And if I just make some points over here, and over here, you can see it totally works like an doll. You can play with your doll. Okay. You see it dancing. I don't. Okay. So this was a wanky shape, and this is a puppet wrap tool. Has so many glitches in it and not used by most of the graphic designers in Illustrator. But no, it is good to know about puppet wrap tool. You never know when you are going to use it. It is a sudden move when you got to use the puppet wrap tool. So this is doing yoga and I just don't like it. So I'll be just removing it. I'll be just saying, hello guys, welcome back to Tomato GFX. And today we have learned everything. And now I should leave because this is getting very long video. So see you in the next video where we are going to work on our next tool, which is shape builder tool, and the consecutive tools like paint live bucket and live paint selection tool, a perspective tool also. So stay tuned for that and see you soon.